Happy day, friends. This is the weekly reading for March 11th through March 17th. And this can be a really powerful week, okay? For us as a collective, this can be a very powerful week if we surrender to the work that wants to be done through us, okay? If we can surrender to the work that wants to be done through us, this will be such a powerful week collectively. I feel like there's this opportunity for us to really to experience more goodness in our personal lives and as a collective. Um, and the key to that is for us to be looking for this goodness, to be looking for this goodness. The key to us experiencing more goodness as a collective is for us to be open to being witnesses to this goodness that wants to pour through us and into our world, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that we are neglecting what is happening in our world, right? That's not what that means. What it means is that we are collectively focusing our energy and attention, okay? We are collectively focusing our energy and attention on the goodness so that that vibration can continue to be lifted and raised, okay? So that the vibration of the collective can continue to be lifted and raised, okay? So this could be a very powerful week for us for us as individuals and for us as a collective. And I think that, we have a responsibility to aid in that process. We all do. Every single individual has a responsibility to aid in the process of uplifting the collective vibration. And it all what I'm hearing and what I was hearing whenever I was meditating and preparing for the reading is that it all has, of course, it has to do with how we relate to other people, okay? It has to do with how we relate to other people, and not just in our physical interactions, but how are we relating to people in our minds, okay? How are we relating to people in our minds? Because something that is something that I see often, okay, and that I hear people say often on social media is that they can't stand people. They hate people. They're over people. They don't want to be around people. They get anxiety around people. And what I'm hearing Spirit say, and why Spirit is bringing that up, is because even if there is a slight, even if, okay, trying to see how these words want to come through, but even if people say that they can't stand people or they hate people, or even if they're saying that with a little bit of humor behind it, that mindset, that attitude is contributing greatly to the frequency, to our collective frequency and vibration, okay? And so we want to eliminate phrases and words such as I can't stand people, I hate people, I don't want to be around people. And the reason why is because we are, I haven't done a reading in a while where I've gotten so emotional, but I'm feeling this emotion flood through, because the reality is that we're brothers and sisters. We're family. Even if I've never met you ever before, you are my family. You are family. And so we're being asked, as we're stepping into this next week, we're being asked to embody that mindset of we're family. We're family, okay? Um, Even the people who frustrate us, even the people who have caused us harm, okay? That's hard. That's difficult to accept, right? But even the people who have caused us harm are still a part of the family, okay? And and so this is where we embody compassion. This is where we call in grace. This is where we call in forgiveness, okay? This is where we call in compassion, grace, forgiveness, love, true love. And so throughout this next week, there's this invitation to let go of your guard, okay? To let go of your guard. The words that are coming out of my mouth right now are totally different from not totally different, but from, because y'all know, if you've been rocking, you know that I meditate prior to recording the reading and I take notes. And some of what's coming out right now, it's not what I wrote down. Some of it is, some of it's not. But so that's what we're being asked to embody as we go throughout this next week, is there's this invitation to put your money where your mouth is what I'm hearing. To put your money where your mouth is, okay? To put your money where your mouth is. And so what that means is that you have to tune into your soul. You have to tune into the narrative of your soul. You have to tune into your heart's narrative. And whenever you identify what your heart's narrative is and what your soul's narrative is, okay? When you identify what those narratives are, you will find that some of the perspectives and beliefs that you are holding on to about people don't align with your heart and soul's narrative. And so there's this responsibility, okay, as we're moving throughout this next week, you'll be asked to take responsibility for how you are relating to people, okay? I'm looking at my notes, trying to see what else I should touch on before I get into the cards. Yeah, so there's this note of, so like it's in alignment with what I just said about tuning in to your heart and soul's narrative. And in doing that, what you're doing is you're looking at, what are the facts? Okay, what are the facts? And there's this call for you to put the facts over your opinions, thoughts, and perspectives. The facts being, one of the facts being, we're family. Okay. And so, yes, in my ego, in my humanity, I may look at you at times and say, you get on my nerves. But when we as a collective pour into that narrative, it becomes reality. It becomes reality. It causes certain narratives that we pour our energy into create dissension, create separation. And we are not here to live in separation. We are here to live in harmony. We are here to experience unity. And if we pour our energy into certain narratives that go against living in harmony and experiencing unity, then we'll just continue to perpetuate some of the same bullshit that we're over and tired of. We're tired of seeing certain things happen in our world, yet in our personal daily lives, we're contributing to a certain frequency and we're not even really aware of it. But if you're listening to this, now you're aware, and now you have to be honest with yourself, because what I always say is, in being honest, you open yourself up to healing. And so healing is in the awareness. Okay? That's something I always say. Healing is in the awareness. We can't heal what we're not aware of, but when we become aware of it, we have the power within us to change it, to create change. Okay? So, also this week, I was feeling and kind of sharing some light energy with the sacral energy center. Okay, the sacral chakra, if you're familiar with the chakra system, the sacral chakra. So that's why this conversation is coming up about, how do you relate to other people? How are you relating to other people, in your mind and in body? Okay, so just kind of notice, you may be experiencing throughout this next week, you may feel a heightened your sensuality may feel a little heightened, or this sense to create, you may feel this, you may feel a sense of wanting to draw something out of yourself, wanting to draw something from deep within yourself. Okay, that's your sacral energy will be moving, will be super active, trying to get your attention next week. So pay close attention to that and be open to expressing yourself in new ways. Okay, and giving yourself permission to trust yourself. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to get into the cards. I usually only pull 3 tarot cards and an oracle card, but an extra card wanted to be pulled today. So we're going to see what's going on here. The first card that we have is the 4 of Wands. Okay, I love it, because what was I saying? How are you reflecting on, contemplating over, how are you relating to others? How are you relating to others? Okay, how are you relating to others? Because when I asked the question, what can we embody as we're moving throughout this next week, one of the things that came up is unity consciousness. Okay, so look at the 4 of Wands and how they're all bringing their lights together, and look at how bright the lights are, because they're coming together as a collective. So unity consciousness is something that we're being asked to embody. And so you'll be able to look at, as you're moving throughout this next week, am I participating in unity consciousness, or am I contributing to a lesser frequency? Okay, so the 4 of Wands, how do we create harmony in our world? It's by coming together. It's by coming together. It's by looking at my neighbor and saying, you are family. You are family. I don't dislike you. You don't get on my nerves, even though, yes, you do get on my nerves. But in that, the truth, the fact is that we are family. We are family. And I see you as such. I see you as being my family. Okay. All right. And then we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Okay. So there's a little bit of growing up, maturing in our way of thinking about the world. Okay. Because sometimes you want to be careful not to fall into the narrative that you want to do. Okay. Yes, okay. So we have Page of Swords, and then that extra card that wanted to come out is the Nine of Swords, okay? So what I'm hearing, and I had to just pick this up, my spirit said, pick that up and see what that is, and it's the Nine of Swords. So I had to pick that up because I needed some clarity on the Page of Swords, okay? So what's happening through the Page of Swords is throughout this next week, you're going to be experiencing like a growth spurt. Okay, you're going to be experiencing a growth spurt because what you're going to be finding is that your opinions and your perspectives about the world is what is keeping you in fear. Okay, there are things happening in our world. Most people are aware, most people know what is happening in our world. Okay, but there is this, we're aware of what's going on in our world, we're aware of what's happening, we can see it. There's so much happening at home, there's so much happening around the world, but the key is to pay attention to your heart and your soul's narrative, because your mind's narrative is oftentimes rooted in fear, right? Your mind's narrative is oftentimes rooted in fear. And so if you can okay. What can you embody as you're moving throughout this next week? The Page of Swords is like, I need you to embody some curiosity. What, and it's not even, okay, so in your personal life, embodying curiosity, in your personal life, there may be people in your personal life that you have a hard time relating to. There may be people in your personal life that you have a hard time being around, or that you have a hard time forgiving, or but the Page of Swords is saying, listen, you're being asked to mature, to grow up in how you perceive people and how you perceive the world. So here's something that you can do as you're moving throughout this next week in order to help you heal and in order to help you embody unity consciousness. Okay, what you're being asked to do is in your personal life to look at those people that you've had a hard time viewing, in that you've had a hard time looking at through the lens of love. And through the Page of Swords, you're being asked to begin to be curious about how things may change should you begin to look at these people through the lens of love. So that's where embodying curiosity comes in. And then what happens is you serve as a witness to, okay, those people, they didn't necessarily do anything to change, but my perception changed. I changed the lens through which I was looking at them through. And now things are different. Embodying curiosity and then noticing how that happens in your personal life and going a step further. So instead of only looking, instead of okay, so you've identified, you've witnessed how it happens on the micro, now let's go to the macro. If I begin to look at the world through this lens of love, what can begin to change? And if we are doing that as a collective, and then we have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. Okay. I'm going to read I'm going to read. I don't usually do this when I do readings, but I'm going to read what it says for the Eight of Cups. And I may not read the whole thing, but well, okay. So it says the Eight of Cups, into the unknown. In the Eight of Cups, a man walks away from his current reality toward a new dream. The cups of his old way of life have emptied, and though he has acquired relationships, skills, and memories, he must abandon some of what he knows to create something new. Okay? The path forward is unclear, but to find the deeper satisfaction you crave, you must be certain of your decision, venturing through the haze of the foreign and the unknown. Okay, and then the meaning says a search for new paths, a rejection of the material for the spiritual, humility, walking away, fortitude, embracing the unknown. So I love how that was the last card, because this whole thing has been about abandoning old realities, old narratives, old perspectives, in order to contribute to a much greater, more fulfilling frequency. Okay. And then we have the Oracle card, which is serving as kind of, I like to say that it's serving as a card of clarity. And so we have memories of love. Memories of love. Okay. And with memories of love, what I'm hearing is that, ooh, memories of love. Okay. So I want you to think about people that you love that have passed on. Okay. And you don't have to necessarily think about people that you love that have passed on, but just think about the idea of someone passing on. And when they pass, we have funerals, right? And we reflect on their lives, and we reflect on how much love we shared with them, how much love they shared with us. Okay. And so memories of love is coming through, and the message that I'm hearing with this is for you to begin to live from the end. Okay? To live with the end in mind. Meaning memories of love, right? Memories of love. So what that means is for you to keep the end in mind. Okay, and it's keeping in mind that when someone's life ends, we speak of how we loved them and how they loved us. Okay, the love that we all shared with them. So when the world ends, that's what the conversation should be. The conversation should be that we shared love with our brothers and sisters, with our family, okay, with our collective family. So memories of love is not so much about, yeah, okay, I don't even have to go there. That's memories of love is clarifying that for us, clarifying that we need to live from that place, right? Now, in the now moment, in the present moment, in our personal lives. And when we do that in our personal lives, it inevitably happens in the external world. All right. So that is the weekly reading for the week of March 11th through March 17th. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in week after week. Thank you for doing the work. Okay. I would, throughout this next week, I would really pull out your journal. Okay. And connect with your heart and soul's narrative so that you can really live that out over this narrative right here. All right. Yeah. If you have if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you next week.